The Las Vegas housing market is entering the winter slowdown season while still dealing with the continued impact of low housing inventory and higher interest rates. This is the November 2023 edition of the Las Vegas Housing Market Update. To figure out what's happening in the Vegas market, let's first look at some key stats for single-family homes in the greater Las Vegas area. These stats are brought to you by Las Vegas Realtors. Median sales price in October was $449,000, which is practically the same as last month and down just 2% year over year from October 2022. This shows how prices have leveled out since higher rates were introduced last year. Closed sales on single-family homes were down just under 9% from the previous month. Year over year, closed sales were down only 2.4%. As for housing inventory, there were 4,618 homes for sale in October, which was actually up over 2% for September. With rates hitting 8%, we might finally be seeing continued housing inventory on the horizon. Year over year, inventory is still down an incredible 55.5%, which shows why the higher interest rates haven't pushed prices down much further yet. And finally, looking at average days on market, we see that this metric has remained steady at 32 days since last month. Year over year, homes sold 15.8% faster this year, a 6-day difference. Now this was a bit surprising since we're in a lower volume market, but the lower inventory means that whatever's available, it gets bought up a bit faster. Hey everyone, if you're new here, my name's Gershon and I'm a Las Vegas-based realtor. On this channel, I cover the important topics that you need to know about when it comes to the Las Vegas housing market. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and let's continue. All right, now let's look at townhomes and condos. Median sales price for townhomes and condos was just under $280,000 in October, which was up slightly since September and up 4.1% year over year. This sector of housing has stayed pretty resilient since the market changed in 2022. Closed sales dropped over 15% from last month, which is in line with the drop we saw with single-family homes as we move out of the summer months. Inventory totaled 1,311 townhomes available in October, down slightly from September. Now compared to last year though, we see that the inventory is down a whopping 43.3%, which again mirrors single-family homes. I'll touch more on housing inventory in a minute. And finally, days on market for townhomes and condos went up to 33 days in October, which means they sold almost 14% slower versus September. Year over year, we're seeing they're selling slightly faster than last year. Now, in my opinion, there's very little difference in the 29 to 35 day range, which is generally around the average time on market outside of a crazy market like we saw in 2021. One last metric to consider is the current status of mortgage rates here in November. Let me preface this by saying I'm not a lender, and when I talk about average mortgage rates, it's simply for informational purposes. If you'd like a more accurate estimate on rates, then I suggest you reach out to a licensed loan officer, or you can message me and I can put you in touch with one. So looking at average mortgage rates on a 30-year fixed conventional loan, we're now seeing rates around 7.5% for qualified buyers. As for FHA and VA loans, we're seeing rates hover just under 7%. Now all three loan types are at some of their highest levels in over 20 years, but rates have actually come down somewhat over the past few weeks as we head into November after hitting 8%. This tells you it's still a great time to be a cash buyer. So what do all these stats tell us about the Las Vegas housing market? Well, housing inventory is still a huge issue that's going to keep the market level in the face of very high interest rates. Going from 3% to almost 8% rates should have caused prices to drop significantly, but with housing inventory at half the levels of previous years, we're seeing prices stay steady. The number of homes being purchased on a month-to-month basis is trending down right now since we're moving out of the summer selling season and into the slower winter months. Kids are in school, the days are shorter and colder, and families are less inclined to make a big move during the holiday months. We should see activity pick up in February. Overall, the whole Vegas market truly hinges on interest rates. High rates are pricing buyers out of the market while keeping homeowners from becoming sellers. Many people who would like to sell are stymied by the fact that they'll then be forced to buy at high rates. When rates are lower, more sellers will enter the market, mortgages become more affordable, and prices should edge up a bit. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about the Las Vegas housing market, then I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.